Hey everybody, welcome back to BobkeTV. Well, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for Bobke's Broom Wagon. Yes, indeed, the good Peter Sagan, Lizzie Armistead in the Rainbows, winning the Ronde van Vlaanderen. The bad Edix cannot get into the win column. It's been a while for the Edix squad. Tom Bonen asks us not to panic. Maybe now is the time to start. And the ugly Greg van Avermaet, teammates going down, but van Avermaet breaking his collarbone. I'll have the Musette Musings, and of course, tweet of the week. All that coming up on the Broom Wagon. All right, let's get to the good. In years past, it seems like who's ever won the World Championships goes on to have the worst season of their career. But maybe now we need to reconsider that. And if you look at the success of Lizzie Armistead, especially current women's world champion, and Peter Sagan in the last 10 days of racing, then you have to maybe say that the rainbow is not a curse anymore. Lizzie Armistead, Het Neuseblad, she won that. She won Strade Bianche, Trofeo Binda, and now the Ronde van Vlaanderen in the women's race. Absolutely scintillating finale. Just getting the best of Emma Johansson in the sprint. Photo finish going to the current road racing world champion. And Peter Sagan, a command performance. Absolutely demolishing the field. Solo victory in the rainbow stripes at the Ronde van Vlaanderen. He won he won Gent-Wevelgem last weekend and kept his nose to the grindstone and went on to have an absolutely spectacular win in the Ronde van Vlaanderen. I picked Cancellara. He finished second. So Cancellara in his farewell Ronde did a pretty good ride, but I'm pretty sure he would have much rather moved up one spot in the standings. But Sagan was not to be denied. And this is a quote. This is the best quote all year from Peter Sagan. They don't like to work with me, so it is better to drop everyone. And this is a little bit fearsome if you're one of Sagan's competitors, because he's figured out a way to go a lot sooner than people are anticipating. And then he has the strength to go all the way to the finish line, the endurance in these long, very difficult classics. And if he can stick to that strategy, the field is going to have to find another way to beat Peter Sagan, but it's going to be very hard. The bad, Edix, Team Edix and Tom Bonen, nothing to show from the Tour of Flanders. Bonen 15th in, it's gone from bad to worse for the Edix squad. They do have one more cobbled classics to reverse their fortunes that are flagging at the moment in Paris-Roubaix. And I would definitely put Bobke as one of the favorites. And if he comes good in a week's time, and there's plenty of time to get ready for Paris-Roubaix, Tom Bonen will be a factor. But it's not the dominant team that we see from Edix. We don't see the 3, 4, 5 guys in the finale of any of the races recently, the big races. E3 Harelbeke and Gent-Wevelgem, and now Ronde van Vlaanderen. So I'm sure there's some long faces and some stern words in the team bus at Edix, but they do have another race for the cobbled classics to redeem themselves. And believe me, if any of those riders wins Paris-Roubaix, all of these failures will be forgotten. And the ugly Greg van Avermaet going down in Ronde van Vlaanderen with 4 of his teammates all crashing at the same time. So imagine this. You're the team director, you're in the car, everybody's moving up, it's looking good, the peloton has split apart, come back together, and you still have a pile of guys in the front group. You are licking your chops, and suddenly, bam, all 5 guys go down, and your leader, your race leader, breaks his collarbone. He's out indefinitely, but at the moment, it's the worst case scenario you can imagine as a sports director in a big race. Everything to gain one moment, and then you lose everything, and that is the nature of professional bike racing. You never can tell, but hopefully Greg Van Avermaet will be back up to speed before too long. So Greg, get well soon. BMC, good luck in Paris-Roubaix upcoming and the other races. Pays Basco is starting, and so I'll have all of those results also. And that's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Another good, I just remembered, Imanol Erviti from the Movistar squad, 7th in the Ronde van Vlaanderen. The Movistar team has been around in different iterations, different sponsors for, I think, almost 40 years. And this is their best result ever in the Tour of Flanders. A top 10 Spanish rider, better known as a climber, up there with the big dogs in the Ronde van Vlaanderen, one of the most difficult spring classes just to finish. So great result for the Movistar squad. All right, and now it's time for the Musette Musings. Well, it seems like the race vehicles continue to be a serious challenge to professional cycling. The motos and the cars in the caravan that are in front of, surrounded by, and behind the peloton. Just a lot of problems in the wake of a tragic loss of Antoine de Moitié. Mads Pedersen in the breakaway at 3 days of Depana. This is what he had to say. Today was a close call. Almost felt the asphalt. And this is what he's referring to. Car passing the brake. The car seems like plenty of room on the left side, but disregards that and goes so close to the group, almost takes Mads Pedersen down. Michael Morkov in the same race, 3 days of Depana, same day. I would definitely expect the motorbikes to be more careful at 3 days of Depana. But 3 times I almost got taken down due to stupid moves. UCI, question mark. This is a very interesting couple of photos posted by Jeremy Waugh. The first one with the arrows shows that to the left of the breakaway, almost no room at all, barely shoulders width of room. And to the right, a wide open multi-lane road. And next photo, the motorbike from the race passes on the left. Are you joking me? You're coming up on the breakaway. It should be very straightforward, very clear-cut. Go where there's the most room. If somebody had fallen just then, another avoidable accident. Fast forward from 3 days of Depana to Tour of Flanders. This is a pile-up, and to be clear, it's just crazy in those situations. All of the team cars following are panicked to see if one of their riders is in the crash. The giant mechanic is out of his team car looking for any riders that need to be serviced on his team. And as he starts to move back towards his team car, gets run down by the Edix team car. This is not a high-speed crash, but the mechanic gets pinned underneath the Edix car and was taken away to the hospital. And it begs the question for the UCI. And so that Antoine de Moitié does not die in vain, the UCI has to do something. And I have 3 suggestions that might be instructive for the UCI to consider. Number 1, restrict the number of vehicles in the caravan. A few less numbers, and you reduce the potential for incidents with less vehicles. There are just not as many chances for collisions to occur. Number 2, and this is maybe the most important, a speed limit for the vehicles when they pass the peloton or pass the breakaways or pass the riders even that have been dropped. When you're going past a group, you don't need to go 100 miles an hour, because when something does happen, and it's inevitable because of the miles, the number of races, the number of pros, how small the roads are, accidents will happen, but we can reduce the severity by a speed limit when you're passing. That will also have another effect, a little bit extra time for maneuverability if something does transpire with the peloton or the riders that you're passing. And number 3, a buffer zone, a safe passing distance. If it's not safe to pass, don't pass. This desperation to get around the field, to get in between the groups, has to be regulated. And the UCI, some of these recent incidents are due to poor decisions on behalf of the drivers. And through training, those could be definitely reduced. So it's up to the UCI and Brian Cookson's leadership to come up with creative solutions that will prevent these tragedies from happening, so that Antoine Demoitier's death is not in vain, and that it's a safer environment for all the racers. The racers can also make the courses safer by not fighting with each other. This happened in 3 Days of Japan also. Katusha squares off against Direct Energy. Kuznetsov is the Katusha rider. Alex Pichot is the man on the Direct Energy squad. Pichot trying to get into the line. Katusha doing the work at the front of the field. And Pichot trying to get into the line. And Kuznetsov, they have some words, but then he maneuvers him to the left-hand side of the road and takes a swing at Alex Pichot. And even though he wasn't disqualified, Kuznetsov should have been expelled from the race immediately by the UCI, by the race commissar. These type of knuckle fests, a dust-up like this, has catastrophic consequences if somebody does go down. Imagine somebody goes down because two or more riders are taking swings at each other and gets hit by one of the vehicles that's passing. The potentially horrendous happenstance, if this does not have severe penalties that are enforced immediately. So the UCI did not disqualify Kuznetsov, and I cannot for the life of me understand that. Kuznetsov did apologize, but like I said, if he had knocked Pichot down, potentially catastrophic consequences. So no more fighting, fellas. All right, tweet of the week coming to us from Arnaud Demar. This is what Demar had to say. Whew! Yesterday I crashed at the Tour of Flanders. Can you please stitch me up before Paris-Roubaix? So making light of a very, very graphic illustration of how tough the sport of bike racing is. And Arnaud Demar, winner of Milano-San Remo just a few weeks ago, but down and out in the Tour of Flanders. So the boys on the bike are always hard, always tough, and next weekend, Paris-Roubaix, maybe the toughest race of all. So hopefully Demar will be back up to speed soon, and somebody can get some needle and thread and sew up his jersey, but I'm sure the FDJ squad has some spare kit around. That's it. Remember, the Broom Wagon comes every Tuesday. If you aren't a subscriber, please subscribe. You can keep up with me on Twitter and Facebook. And if you like these videos, give me the thumbs up. Thanks a lot, everybody. What I thought I would do with this installment is pick out the 5 best places in the world to ride bicycles. The 5 favorite places I have where I've ridden and dream about riding again sometime.